Is a journalist in Washington called Sam Husseini. And everybody who's watched the State Department, that horrible smirking spokesman for the State Department justifying every Israeli atrocity, and you have the Arab origin journalist who's trying to pin him down, that's Sam Husseini. And I met Sam at an Assange event in Washington in October. And he said to me, why is nobody activating the Genocide Convention? And I thought about it, and as a former diplomat, I knew of it, and I went off and studied it, and realized that any country which is a signatory can take any other country to the ICJ over it, but also, most importantly, that it is, it's not, you don't have to wait for a genocide to have finished. If you are a state signatory, you have a duty to prevent genocide by reporting it to the ICJ at an early stage. So I wrote a couple of papers on how to activate it. We then went into lobbying mode all around the world. Roger Waters, for example, Roger Waters called on President Lula, and he called on President Obrador in Mexico and asked those countries if they would activate the Genocide Convention. I lobbied people at the UN in Geneva. I lobbied national delegations there. And actually, through Stella and Julian Assange, Andrew Feinstein got my paper on how to activate the Genocide Convention to the South African foreign minister. And when South Africa decided to take Israel to court, my paper on how to do it was on the cabinet table in front of them. I've never been so proud of anything in my life. And I should say, I had the honour to be in the courtroom for that. The International Court of Justice wouldn't accept me as part of the South African delegation because I was neither a South African nor Palestinian government representative. So I had to queue from 2 in the morning at -8 degrees centigrade to get into the International Court of Justice, where they have 14 seats in the public gallery. And I was number 8 in the queue, and at 4:30, number 14 in the queue joined me, which was Jeremy Corbyn, who turned up at 4:30 in the morning to join the queue as well. But this has, if it was the International Criminal Court, which is different from the ICJ, the International Criminal Court is a Western puppet organisation. It's not good. But because the ICJ has found plausible genocide, the International Criminal Court had no choice but to act against Netanyahu. And in 2 years' time, when the ICJ comes to with its judgment of genocide, there will be no choice here for the legal authorities but to prosecute Sunak and Cameron and possibly now Starmer and Lammy for complicity in genocide, which is a crime in UK domestic law. So all of this will work through, and we all have to do what we can. What I could do was to use my expertise in diplomacy and international law, but everybody here has something they can do. You all have your own social media contacts, you all have your own sphere of influence, your own expertise, and no matter how small it may seem, get out there and do everything you can to stop this genocide.